Flying cars.
Has fashioned himself a car. At least it's a car when it's on the ground. And it goes spinning along the highway with a pusher airplane propeller doing the pushing at speeds up to 50 miles an hour. But when he gets to an airport, it's a different story. That car you saw scooting along the road begins to sprout wings with the aid of Brian's brother. The wings, which have been folded along the sides, are attached, and the convertible is ready for the wild blue yonder. With a 40 horsepower motor, it takes to the air. Not bad for a $300 job. No bumper-to-bumper traffic for him.
Easy Tigers. I hope everyone's fine and dandy. I had a little week out. I fell over, broke my arm. I've been on painkillers for the last week. So I've seen all the messages and the comments and everything. I just couldn't get round to typing back to everyone. But I've seen them all and I will get back to everything. So let's get stuck into flying cars. A flying car is a type of personal air vehicle or roadable aircraft that provides door-to-door transportation by both ground and air. The term flying car is also sometimes used to include hovercars. Many prototypes have been built since the early 20th century using a variety of flight technologies such as distributed propulsion. Some have true VTOL performance. The PAL V Liberty roadable aircraft targeted 2021 to become the first flying car in full production. Their appearance is often predicted by futurologists, with their failure to ever reach production leading to the catchphrase, "Where's my flying car?" Cars are popular themes in fantasies and science fiction movies and stories. That's the narrative. Let's have a look what I found. Every time you get into a traffic jam, you dream of pulling a lever, adding wings to your car and soaring over the rest of the poor drivers. And then you wonder, where's my flying car? The truth is, flying cars have existed for decades. You just wouldn't want most of these. Here's the totally insane history of flying cars with pictures. And this is the Convair Model 116 and 118, or the Hall flying car. After the end of World War II in 1946, Hall and Thompson from the Consolidated Vultee Aircraft, later renamed Convair, designed and built the two-seater Convair Model 116. And this is what it looked like inside, very basic, but it flew. And it was door to door, so you can get from your house to someone else's house, over air, land and sea. So this prototype completed 66 test flights, and Hall designed another model named the 118, or the Convair car. 2 prototypes were built. So if we have a look at these now, all they really are is cars with detachable wings. That's all it seems like they are. And this is one mid-flight. Quite incredible that these never took off. Well, it weren't a joke. It didn't blow up. This is incredible. Just imagine how free you would be with one of these. So this image is from San Diego Air and Space Museum. Now they're just left in museums for us to have a look at and imagine. But they're bringing out flying cars now. There was meant to be some flying car tests done last year, but the pandemic hit. Let's have a look at hopping cars. Now this one was called the Curtiss Autoplane. It was not able to fly, but it hopped. And this is where I think the Cadillac come from, you know, the hopping cars. But this is a free-winged creation of Glenn Curtiss, and it was the first attempt to build a flying car. It was shown at the Pan America Aeronautic Exposition at New York in February 1917. So like I said, it was like Cadillacs, because this one hopped like Cadillacs. So I wonder if the Cadillacs come from this. So these are just plans and the pattern. This was patterned in 1919. You'll see on the next image. These are just the plans of Curtiss autoplane. Right, so these are just the plans, and these are the pattern of the Curtiss aeroplane. So I think the Cadillac come from this, because the Cadillac engine had a big part in these flying cars. So this image is 100 years old exactly, and it was Tampere Roadable, and it was a French guy, and his name was Rini, and he successfully built a four-wheeled biplane with foldable wings and introduced it at the Paris Air Salon in 1921 after a 2-hour drive in the city. The pilot would sit facing the tail while driving. So that's quite interesting. This is in Paris, obviously, and this is the autoplane on the road. Another image. So you can see it's bang in the middle of traffic. Got a guy. Imagine that. Imagine you're cycling along and you've got a plane / car going next to you. And another thing I noticed that around just before World War II, there used to be a heck of a lot of private airports around London, like tens, in the tens. I wonder if this was something to do with that. It says it never really kicked off, but I reckon it did, and I reckon they realised how free people could be, and I reckon it just got shut down, just like all the other stuff, like free electricity, free energy, and all stuff like that. It all gets shut down. Anything that betters humanity or benefits humanity gets shut down straight away. So let's have a look at this. So this one here is the windmill autoplane, and it says at the bottom, planes parked at doorsteps may become common if the new combination machine proves a success. So this is in 1935, and it says no parking on the sign there, which is ironic. And she's got a parked autoplane. It's a nice little advert. The foldable blades allow people to drive this plane on the streets. Let's have a look at this advert. This gyro automobile flies without wings. The wingless auto gyro and the invention of the combined land and air drive makes the dream of the flying auto come true. As flying automobiles are within reach of the public today as a result of a dual drive for land and air invented by Edward A. Stalker of Ann Arbor, Michigan. His gear drive includes a simple clutch which engages a wheel to drive the car on land or a propeller to push the vehicle through the air. Based on this invention, the gyro automobile was designed. In appearance, it resembles a modern streamlined rear-engine automobile. No wings are necessary, as auto-gyro blades would provide the necessary lift. The US Bureau of Air Commerce has ordered the Pitcairn Auto-Gyro Company to design an auto-gyro automobile for amateur flyers, which with its rotor blades folded back and its engines geared to the wheels can be driven on a highway like a motor car. So these are just the diagrams that show you how they worked, how the wings folded, and how the motor worked, how it changed gear. So pause and have a little look at that and familiarise yourself with it. It's pretty simple technology, to be honest with you. Very simple technology. I mean, look at the gear shaft. Very simple technology. I mean, if this can be done 100 years ago and they continue to do this, where would we be now? And another interesting little point to make out is just a propeller that you wind up with wheels and a motor. I mean, how early could these go back? Engines go back a few hundred years, I've been looking at. Oh, I digress. So this one's called the AC-35, Auto Gyro Company of America. The Auto Gyro Company of America's parent company, the Pearson Auto Gyro Company, contracted with the Bureau of Air Commerce to build the roadable Auto Gyro. It was tested between 1936 and 1942, but it didn't enter production. There you go. Some of them look like planes that you could just take the wings off, which they are, and some of them look like cars. They're very strange. Let's have a look at the Waterman. So the first real flying car was the Waterman Arabelle. So 3 years after Walter Waterman built his first flying aircraft, the Waterman Wasn't, he completed a submission to a government-funded competition with his new tailless 2-seat vehicle named the Aeroplane W4. After its success, the engineer built a W5, easily detachable wings and a propeller. Fly at 112 miles an hour, and it drove at 56 miles an hour. Thanks to its 100-mile-an-hour Studebaker engine, the Arabelle first flew in February 1937, and that Studebaker, they kept going for another 20 years because they made the flying car in the 50s, same engine. Let's have a little looky at this. Plane shed wings to run on ground. The plane with wings detached for use on the ground as a car. Detachable wings enable a vehicle of odd design to travel on the ground as well as in air, capable of attaining a speed of 100 miles an hour while flying and 55 on the ground. The novel craft is powered by a standard 6-cylinder automobile engine. The autoplane making a landing in the air is capable of speeds of 110 miles an hour. Yeah. There we go. So this was a car that had wings and it could fly at 110 miles an hour and 55 on the ground. It's amazing. Now the reason these got brushed under the carpet is because imagine how free you would be if you had one of these. You wouldn't need a passport, you wouldn't need nothing, you just go and fly somewhere. The 6 of them aircrafts were made. Let's have a look at a couple of models in action. Look at that. That looks like from the 80s, that one. It's got some altitude. Let's have a little look, closer look. So it's just a car, just a body with the wings and wheels. Almost looks like something out of a like a construction derby. I wouldn't feel very safe in it. Definitely not. But you've got to imagine how basic the mechanics is in this vehicle when it's going along the pavement and propelling up in the sky into a plane. So think how basic that technology is. And I'm saying this must have been around a heck of a lot longer. So, road and sky, Skymaster or Pinto? Well, it's both. The AV Mizza, a roadable airplane, or if you prefer, a flying car, with the airframe unit taken from the Sensor Skymaster and the body from the Ford Punto. Mizza is now being flight tested. The prototype Mizza has a 210 Continental, but future models will run up to 300 horsepower like coming. The Pinto Dash has altimeter, airspeed indicator and other flight instruments. So it does look like something out of the 60s. It reminds me of something like Back to the Future. That's what it reminds me of, with a flux capacitor in the back. Here's all the little gadgets to control, so that'd be for the plane and for the vehicle, all in one little hub. I wonder if there's flying lessons for these.